Go bigger than a hell rain, things like you heard on the decks. Glover hold the court, give the chief no suspect. Politics in the mix, like Gumbo Stewart Rich. Spinning tales from Black Wall Street, real life's the pitch. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. Donnie Glover Show, be more news.
Welcome to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. How you doing, man?
Man, feeling well, man.
What's your name?
My name is Cardi Cornish.
And you're a legend?
I'm a legend.
You're a legend here in Baltimore City. Where we at right now?
We live in the 17, Pennsylvania Avenue. The legendary Pennsylvania Avenue.
Man, the last time I saw you here, you were doing something just across the street here. What were you doing?
Oh, yeah, I had some food left over from an event. We brung it out. We fed a couple of people, man.
Why you do that?
Nice soul food.
Why you do that?
Man, the love that God has shown me in Christ, man, it overflows. That's how it overflows.
Yes, sir.
We got more than we can use. We got more than we can handle ourselves. We try to let it flow. Let it flow to the next person.
Yeah. We're proud of you, man.
Thank you.
And we're proud of your son.
Thank you.
You're watching BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth.
Business six hotter than lava. Got that Midas touch. Stocks and blocks teaching youngins how to clutch. Ears to the concrete, finger on the pulse, dropping wisdom like Hova. Each word a joke. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. 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 Walls painted black, history on lock. Blast off from Tulsa, rebirth like a clock. Markets rising from ashes to days. Donnie the narrator, truth runs in veins. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. Donnie Glover Show, be more news.
Top of the morning to you. First name's Donnie, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. Going live from Los Angeles. Mr. Truvel, how you doing, sir?
Hey, man, I'm blessed. I can't complain. How have you been, King Glover?
Man, I'm working on book number 4. Book
Let's
number
get
4
it.
about to come out.
Let's get it. Congrats. And a birthday around the corner. Come on now.
Yeah, that's book number 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's book number 1, Unapologetically Black. And we got Journalpreneur around here. But the next one coming out is called Journalpreneur, like journalism and entrepreneurship.
Yep.
How we make $1. But the next one coming out is called Black Blueprint. Blueprint.
Talk to me about it.
Baltimore to Burkina Faso.
Okay.
So look at my immediate surroundings, Baltimore, DC. This is roughly 2 million people, Black people, along this corridor. And just looking at what has worked for us. Politically, economically. You know, same thing you do every day.
Yeah.
White people.
Yeah, you got some like some interviews in there, some survey data in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of W.E.B. Du Bois and the Philadelphia Negro. Right, where he did a very, very similar study where he was walking around the city of Philadelphia just trying to get the sense of what the Black life was like in that city. And from that, we have the Philadelphia Negro. From that, we have the Souls of Black Folk that come out later. So I'm excited for what you're going to do right in 2024, 2025, 2026, and experiencing what is the experience of a African-American in Baltimore and what might that translate to book-wise. So I'm excited for that one.
Du Bois, man, to even be mentioned in the same sentence with such an icon. He spent some time in Baltimore. I know his daughter taught here.
Really?
But W.E.B. Du Bois is my favorite intellectual
Really?
of all time. As a matter of fact, my daughter shares his birthday, February 23rd.
See, that's why subconsciously you're moving like him. It's just it's in there.
Two souls, two warring ideals, one dark body whose dogged strength alone keeps him from being torn asunder.
Yes, sir.
Voice was a beast. And I think if you look back, the only thing that maybe he would change in retrospect is he would have let the Niagara movement and the founding of the NAACP be 100% Black.
Yep. That and I think he would have not fought Booker T. Washington as much. Right. I think in his later years, I think he kind of circled back to Pan-Africanism. In his later years, he realized that Booker T. Washington was not completely wrong in his fight to make sure that we are getting economic independence. Yeah, that too. Parity, independence. So yeah, but I think as a scholar, we all go through our stages, right? I think that's what it is. W.E. Du Bois, as iconic and as great as he is, he's still like everyone else had to develop. Yeah, he's human for sure.
I'll tell you a matter that came on the table that caused a rift in the Black community: Planned Parenthood. You familiar with it?
I'm familiar with it. I'm not familiar with how that connects to Du Bois, unless you were swerving.
So when they were coming in with this Planned Parenthood movement, they had to get the support of famous Black leaders. So let's take his name off the table. I know King got compromised in that. They dragged Dr. Martin Luther King's name into it. But Planned Parenthood, they were like a democratic movement. They would come in to try to pick off our best leaders and say, hey, this is good. And it's like, hold up, Pam.
Yeah.
We heard what Margaret Sanger said. She said that Black people are like weeds that need to be exterminated. We understand the relationship to Charles Galton, who was the cousin of Charles Darwin. They were talking the survival of the fittest. We understand that Mendele mentality out of Nazi Germany, blonde hair, blue eyes, master race. But we also understand Jesse Owens went over there and debunked that BS with literally flying colors.
Yeah.
You see that black man just run by you?
Yep.
See that?
Yeah,
Los
definitely.
Angeles, man. Enough about me, man. Tell them about
What's
you.
up?
Welcome to the show, man.
Oh man, it's your show. We try to talk about you as much as we can, but I'm happy to be back on the show. It's been a couple years. For those that haven't had the honor of connecting with me, my name is Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, founder of Play Black Wall Street. Since 2018, we've created board games centering the history of Black Wall Street to make sure that more people can learn about it, but also increase financial literacy. So, King Glover, since the last time we've been on the show, we started to have some programs in schools, right? So we have mentorship programs in schools that teach financial literacy. We host a once a year pitch competition with our middle school students, with our high school students. Man, these students got some brilliant ideas, King Glover. So it's good to give them the stage, give them the mic so they can share their ideas. And these are real ideas that can solve problems in the community. So that's really what we've been focused on, is just building out this business, teaching more students and more people how to build businesses. And it's been exciting. I think 3 years since I've been on.
It's been a minute, but I just wanted to take a moment and thank you, because I've never forgotten this connection, and so much is happening.
Yeah.
On your side of the country. How have you been navigating Los Angeles, California? All that's going on, fires, Trump's protests.
Yeah.
Just, in addition to just living in America, how have you been?
Man, it's been a roller coaster ride, right? It's been a roller coaster ride because we're in Los Angeles, got a lot of family, got a lot of students around here. So everything that's happening, I'm always 1, 2, 3 degrees away from separation. We were at Palisades High School, right? And I do want to give, a lot of love to our teachers and our students out there in Palisades High School. We were there probably 2-3 weeks before the fire doing a Black Wall Street game session with their Black Student Union. Right, so we had 150 Black students in the gym with their Village Nation, with their Black Student Union. We were playing the games, and then literally 2 weeks later, now that high school is completely gone. Right, so in another chain of events, we would have been actually there when the fires were going on. So definitely thankful for that protection. But yeah, it's definitely been hard. A lot of people in our community hit for the fires in Altadena, right, in the Palisades area. I have a lot of friends that are out there in the protesting to support our immigrant families. I got a lot of family members myself that are immigrants, so it's a lot going on. Even all the way out to we're now outside of LA. We used to live in LA. Now we moved outside of LA to Riverside. But even in Riverside, there's still some unnecessary violence happening inside the streets due to the protests as well. So I just try to stay as grounded as I can. I meditate in my mornings. I reach out to my family, reach out to my friends, make sure everyone's all good. So I appreciate you checking in on us, Glover.
There is a place in California that was a Black town. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, Allensworth.
Man, I'm looking up Allensworth.
Allensworth, yes, sir, right there in Tulare County.
Now, that was founded by a Black man, is my understanding.
Yes, sir. Colonel Allen Allensworth. He was one of the highest ranking African-American men in the military at the time. He retired. He bought, I think it was like 720 acres out there in Tulare County. For those that don't know, Tulare County, it's like the Bakersfield, right? If you know Bakersfield, California, it's around that area. And he was just building 720 acres, mostly military veterans, Buffalo Soldiers. And yeah, we got some actually. It's funny that you mentioned that because we're working on something in connection with Allensworth over the next year or so. So you'll be like in line to know when that update comes out. Definitely make sure to hit you so we can get that update to you in the community.
Okay, Allensworth. Let's see. I might have something here with him. This technology is a little. Yeah, well, I didn't get it. You were talking. See, Allensworth. He had his own town. Also, Did you know that in California is technically the first Black millionaire?
Talk to me about that.
I want you to look up William Leedsdorf. Leedsdorf. L-E-I Leeds. L-E-I-D-E-S. Leeds. Once you go looking up stuff, your computer's supposed to get back to it, unless with some people. Microsoft want to jump in and talk about they want you to pay some money. It's like, stop playing, man. Go on that bull. William Leedsdorf, L-E-I-D-E-S D-O-R-F-F. William Leedsdorf.
Yeah. You know how he became a millionaire?
I think his daddy was rich. He might have been one of the Passe Blancs. I was just down in New Orleans where they talk about a lot the Passe Blancs.
Yeah, but he was so this is 1810 to 1848, a biracial business diplomat, civic leader. He was African, Cuban, Danish, Jewish descent, and was a major player in San Francisco and California. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, that's him.
First U.S. Black millionaire in the West. He got his wealth from shipping, real estate, international trade, and particularly the pre-gold rush California, right? And this is a trend that I'm seeing also in history. Is a lot of folks like us, right? A lot of Black businessmen. They make their wealth not directly off of these like major historical rushes, like the gold rush or like the oil boom, but they make it right next to it. right? Either right before or trying to do something in connection. And I think that's something that we need to learn when it comes to this AI gold rush right now, right? Maybe we might not make the millions or billions of dollars directly in AI, but there's going to be a tangential market that we can get into that can still get us there. It might be media, it might be sports, it might be fashion, but we need to make sure we pay attention to that.
What was
trend.
that term you use?
Tangential market, right? The market right next to it. I don't know if that's a real thing, but mathematically it makes
sense. I like it. I've heard it called cottage industries.
The cottage industries.
Yeah, yep. like
at the house.
Somebody might sell cars, and a cottage industry would be selling tires.
Got you.
Selling air fresheners, anything for a car.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Now let me test your gangster. Have you ever heard of the Khalifians?
I heard of Khalifa in California. Is the Khalifians that entire community?
It derives from that. That is my understanding. Indigenous Americans. Mm-hmm. See, now you and I, we study history. There are those, and it's so exhausting to steal a word from our sisters. I hear the sisters say, it's so exhausting. It's so exhausting. Racism is so exhausting.
Facts.
When you constantly have to show this other people group, when you constantly have to show them your worth, it's exhausting.
Yep.
You know, I'm watching over the weekend Pete Hegseth as the Secretary of Defense. Now he's the Secretary of Defense, and he has the rank of Major in the National Guard. I don't know how the regular soldiers might look at it, but it wasn't like he was like full-time player, right?
Right.
But nonetheless, Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, and he's up on the screen, and he's real gun-ho, and he's talking about the stealth bombers. And first of all, I don't believe the stealth bombers left from the U.S. I believe there's some bases very close to Iran. And anyway, but he's on this, and he's painting this picture like America. You know, we're gun-ho. And it always gets me because, you know, I watch a lot of Navy SEAL movies and these military movies. And the heroes, always these white guys.
Yep.
And it's not that we aren't heroes, but we know how Hollywood does us. We get the first one to get killed, first one to get blown up, first one to go out to say the white girl. You know, we get stereotyped.
Yep.
Just like the first film that was ever made in this country, The Birth of a Nation, we still getting that stereotype. Yeah, you could be in a movie, but you got to save the white girl and then you die. Huh? So in all of these stories, I never see what I want to see, the black hero, like the ones who settled the West. And I talk about them in this book.
I love it.
Chief John Horse. You ain't got to buy the book. I'm going to give it to you for free.
Let's go. Hey, King Glover.
Chief John Horse come out of Florida, and he fought the likes of Andrew Jackson to a truce. Because Andrew Jackson, see, blacks said, once you get down to Florida, Spain owned Florida. It wasn't the Florida of America.
Right.
It was a Spanish colony. And if you escaped there, you had up until 1831, you could get your freedom. Because Spain ain't caring about the U.S. expansion. They said, come on over here. You can have your guns and you can get your freedom. You might have to do the Catholic thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they cared about. Andrew Jackson didn't like that. So he fought these blacks with Chief John Horse helping lead the way. And between the blacks and the Seminoles, there was no penetrating. They were called the unconquered.
Yep.
Now, the Seminoles wanted Chief John Horse to stay there in Florida. But after the war, the U.S. government promised them land in Oklahoma. They went to Oklahoma. He didn't like it. They were still trying to enslave him out there, Indians, white people. So he took his soldiers and 200 black families on the Trail of Tears. Notice I told you they were not, I did not say they were enslaved. They were soldiers, they were free. So that dismisses this BS that all the blacks on the Trail of Tears were slaves.
Right.
We got to study our history. It was called a Second Seminole War. There are things that are right in our face, but it's hidden from us because we don't know that they've been redefined, reworded.
Yep.
But these blacks eventually went through Texas. They built 500 black towns going through Texas. They ended up settling in Mexico and became the border patrol for Mexico.
Yeah.
So my point is, when I see Hollywood in their movies, they never show who the real damn hero is.
No. Well, why do you think that is?
Because they don't want you to be strong. All they want us to see is images of us killing each other or doing a shoo, shoo, shoo.
Yep. So Marcus Garvey wrote in his philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey, I think this was like number 3 in the book, was propaganda, right? And the tool of propaganda used, and that the Negro at the time, and probably still to this day, suffers the most from propaganda, which is the power using influence and using the media to force you to think something against your will.
I don't have nothing against weaves. I don't have nothing against braids. But the thing that get me is when I see our beautiful black sisters running their hands through the straight hair, and I'm like, you do know you look like Barbie. Let me see you run your hands through a big 5-foot bush.
Or some locks, right? Go ahead and grow out some natural locks. Yeah.
I can take a bald head.
Oh, you want those warriors from Black Panther?
I'm just saying, do we realize we are emulating a European image of beauty? That's all I want to know.
Right. And then they are emulating us. Right. But it's interesting how, the propaganda to which we try to emulate them, but then they know the truth. So they're trying to emulate us. They're getting the fake lips, so their lips look bigger. They're doing
BBL.
the BBL so they can have a little bit more curves like our African women. So it's interesting.
Tan.
Yep. Trying to get the tan. Yep. So that's why we need more outlets like Be More News, Wall Street. We need more directors like Ryan Coogler, right, who are putting images of sinners, putting images of Black Panther 1, Black Panther 2. We got Creed. That is the images that we need to combat the propaganda of mass media, right? So we need more directors, we need more writers, we need more authors, we need more people like us that are generating positive images for us to consume.
We need more people creating our own board games.
Yes, sir.
Tell them about the game. How's it coming along?
Yeah, the game, man. So we did the first edition in 2018, right? We ran 250 copies of that one. So if you have the first edition out there, thank you. I ran into someone the other day that had the first edition, which was a cool small world. Since then, we've sold almost 10,000 board games worldwide. We're now on our... Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Including 521 games to every player in the NBA, thanks to Drew and Lauren Holiday. Very thankful for that, and their social impact fund that gives out grants to businesses that are doing real work inside the community, like Play Black Wall Street, like so many others. So yeah, that's the board game. And as you go around the board, you land on real businesses that existed in 1921 in Black Wall Street, right? So a Uncle Steve's Barbecue, Williams Dreamland Theater owned by John and Lila Williams, Little Rose Beauty Salon started by Mabel B. Little, who left Mississippi with $1.25. $1.25 in her pocket, went to Black Wall Street, got mentored by Madam C.J. Walker, opened up her own beauty salon, and became an icon of her own, right? So our board game is introducing, thank you very much, Greater Cleaners. Our board game is introducing our youth and even our grown folks to real businesses, real history, but also making it making it real, making it tangible for them, right? So as you play the game, you have to buy or use a business, right? So be a customer, be a consumer, or be an owner. And then once you own the business, you have to invest in that business, take it from a sole proprietor to a LLC to a corporation, right? So the game, it's been going smooth, man. Love seeing colleges buy the games. Colleges bring us out. We'll do game sessions for anywhere from 30 students to 100 students. Everyone talking about Black Wall Street, talking about business. And for us, this is how we start to shift the frequency, shift the culture of what we're doing.
Well, we get ready to shift your daggone focus. You never heard of Annie Malone?
Annie Malone, teach me. Let's go.
Annie Turnbow, Turn, Turnbow,
Mm-hmm.
Turnbo, Annie Turnbow Malone.
Talk to me, Professor.
Man,
I'm gonna look her up. I want to see what you're talking
Annie
about.
was a bad girl. See, America, and we fall for it. We understand marketing. Madam C.J. Walker was a master marketer.
Mm-hmm.
But she was not the first Black woman millionaire from the beauty industry. Madam C.J. Walker had a mentor named Annie Turnbow Malone, who was more of your ilk.
Mm.
Annie created Black beauty products. She dabbled in chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
She was the first one to come up with products for Black women's hair because Black women's hair had been neglected. Wasn't no Weller balsam back in the day. I'll tell you something else too.
Come on, talk to me.
I mentioned to you about the Khalifians, the indigenous peoples. There's a storyline that we consume as a beautiful Black people that we are all descendants of slavery.
Mm.
That is absolutely not true. Let me tell you why. Here's something for you. This is a quick pop-up. Luzia, Luzia, Brazil. When you look up Luzia, see, and that's why we need our own news outlets. We are told Black people came here in the bottom of a damn slave ship. So you telling me millions of people came on them few thousand ships?
Mm.
Then you really got my mind rolling. Then they're going to tell me that Black people didn't have ships. I'm like, y'all stupid.
No.
Y'all really stupid. Now, you telling me the first man on earth, where civilization started, they showed you right there in the damn pyramids, the Egyptians had boats. But you tell them that Mansa Musa sent 1,000 ships westward.
Exactly.
No, he never came back. Oh, they just all died.
Exactly.
When we now know that you got currents off the coast of West Africa, they go straight into Brazil. I say it because there's no way that many people could have been brought here in the bottom of a damn slave ship, and you're losing half of them jumping overboard because they ain't tolerating slavery. Mm. But be that as it may, these Luzia was found to be 11,700 years old, her bones. Mm. She was found in a cave in Brazil. As we know, Brazil has the largest population of Black people outside of Africa. You'd be surprised how many of us don't know that.
Yep.
There are over 100 million Brazilians who are Black, who identify as Black. Probably more. In America, they're like 43 million. Mm. So imagine if we spoke some Portuguese, we'd be able to communicate with our brethren down in Brazil.
Yep.
Take over both continents.
You about to take some Duolingo lessons in Portuguese? What's going on?
If I go to Brazil, I don't know. I might have to start a whole damn colony down there.
Yeah. Have you had the honor of going back to Africa or going to Brazil, just somewhere where you can step in and just be
Well, I tell you,
reconnected?
the first place I felt very African was Jamaica. Wagwan, baby,
Wag,
Jamaican brother. Hey, look, they crack on
Wagwan.
my Jamaican accent. I don't care. I don't care if you crack on my Jamaican accent. Wagwan.
Wagwan.
Yeah, when I get down there, I make a phone call, and next thing I know, my people's come there. Wherever they at, they get the signal.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them I want to see him. Next thing you know, they pulling up. Small world, Jamaica. But yes, I've been to East Africa.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I first saw Africa in '02.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the in Aqaba, Jordan, AQABA, and we were making a right turn. And they said, "There's Cairo over there." I'm like, "What?" Nobody told me I would see Africa on this trip. Man, I broke down for about 45 minutes. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Had to call home. I just saw Mother Africa. They said, "Donnie, why are you crying?" I said, "This is the first time I've seen my mother in 400 years.
Yeah.
Can you dig it?"
That's good. How you feel about, so there's a lot of people, and this isn't anything new particularly, but Earn Your Leisure's been on social media a lot talking about going back to Africa, buying some land in Kenya, starting farms, and really trying to do business, right? How do we bridge the gap between African Americans and Africans? And they're definitely using business to do it. How do you feel about either using business or using news to connect us to the motherland?
We should use all of it. I got a buddy just got back from living in Africa. He started a basketball league over there. The first thing is stop listening to what other people tell you about your people. Stop listening to what your enemy is telling you about your brother. So the book is Black Blueprint, Baltimore to Burkina Faso. You familiar with what's happening in Burkina Faso?
No, sir.
Man, they got a black man. Once I tell you his name, next thing you know, you're going to be seeing this stuff all over social media. His name is Ibrahim Traore. Traore. Got a couple accent marks in there. Ibrahim. French, the U.S., they done tried to kill Ibrahim 20 times. Because Ibrahim brought a Idi Amin move. You remember Idi Amin, Uganda? Why did the white people hate him so much?
Well, because he was uniting both religions?
No, he told them to get out. Get out. Leave. Go. Do not come back. See, the European powers, they carved up all of Africa's 54 countries. Ethiopia was the only one that wasn't colonized. People argue me and say Liberia wasn't a colony, but I beg to differ. But be that as it may, the majority, most of the countries in Africa have been carved up by the German, the French, the British, the Spanish. Everybody wanted to get a piece of it. So when it was a few years ago, he just threw me on that. So he's saying that Idi Amin wanted to change the currency to a gold. What comes to mind was why they killed Gaddafi, because Gaddafi wanted to form one currency. But Ibrahim Traore is the president of Burkina Faso. He is linked with Niger and Mali, his neighboring countries, and they're building a train that touches the capital of each of the three countries. Mind you, they're right there where Nigeria is. That's the most populous African country with 200 million people. And so they're essentially creating an anti-colonialism, anti-neo-colonialism space. White people, you done did your thing, and they get out. Because all you do is take.
Right.
Then they want to demonize Africans. Oh, you're dealing with the Chinese, you're dealing with the Russians. Now, we're just trying to deal with people who are going to treat us fairly. Because we see you come in and you bring your cousins like roaches, and you don't want to leave. And you don't give back. So they cut them off. Ibrahim Traore, they cut him off. They say, you got to get out. Get out. Go. And the challenge with us is we got the natural resources in the ground. but we have not mastered getting it out of the ground, refining it, and taking it directly to market.
Right.
Whether it's gold, whether it's diamonds, whether it's bauxite, cobalt, platinum, all of these things. Africa is mineral rich.
Yeah, everything you need.
But this dude been coming over and getting the stuff out because he knows how to refine. We got to stop that. If anybody doing any digging, it's us.
Right.
So what they do is they come over there. They see what we building right here, and they come and give you some money and tell you that I ain't SHIT. And then they come over here and give me some drugs and some liquor, and they say, by the way, your boy out there in LA, he said your mother ain't no damn good. So that's how they do. They divide and conquer us.
Yep. It all goes back to that propaganda Marcus Garvey was talking about.
That's why we have to have our own machines. And on that note, I'd like to take a moment and pause to acknowledge the life of Naba Muhammad. We called him Richard Muhammad, but his full name was Naba Muhammad. He was the editor-in-chief of the Final Call newspaper. And he was a friend, a colleague, and helped me to take Be More News to a more national level. So Ashe, may Allah welcome him to the kingdom. And that's why it's so important that we stay connected. Might not have talked in 2 or 3 years, but that's why we came back around. And I'm getting ready to celebrate my 60th birthday.
Yeah.
And I had to talk to you because sometimes we forget all of the people that we've touched.
Right.
And so much going on in LA.
Yes, sir.
I was just in New Orleans and I had to get it straight from the people. I say, how y'all feel about Kendrick Lamar getting the Super Bowl show? Man, there's some Wheezy fans. That's all they want is Wheezy. They don't care.
Of course.
They love Kendrick. But they say this Nola, man. This Wheezy country.
And it would have been the same way if the Super Bowl was in LA and someone from Louisiana would have got it, or someone from Texas would have got it. People from LA would have been like, oh, come on, why didn't you give it to Kendrick, to Dre, to YG? So it's
one lady made a point that Wheezy was not coming with that level of cultural competency that Kendrick did.
No.
Boy's a genius.
Yeah, well, first of all, they're both geniuses, but Kendrick is
on another level, man.
Kendrick's on another level, and it's more conscious genius, right? He's that like Black
in a
Panther
world where we get so much crap.
Yes.
That you got to protect, and I got to protect our daughters from, our women from.
Yes.
Just tell you about the subtle little thing we see our sisters going through every day. Baby, why are you giving yourself a concussion?
Yep. And to even bring to complete that circle, right? That the song that he ended with was "Turn the TV Off." Turn the outside influence on your life off. Turn the propaganda off. Whether it's watching, not Be More News, but watching the other news channels, right? Other movies, other TVs, Netflix. All this propaganda that we are consuming is changing our consciousness and changing how we feel about ourselves. So we need to turn the TV off. That's what Kendrick was saying.
Kendrick deep, man.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad I learned about him before his Super Bowl show. I've been following him for at least 3-4 years. Don't kill my vibe. Don't kill my vibe. Don't kill my vibe. That was the first one I fell with. I'm like, who is this young man? Then I learned that he did his homework. Shorty been hanging out with Boozilla, baby. I'm a rock star. I mean, George Collins, Parliament, Funkadelic. He done tapped into musical history. He didn't met Stevie. He didn't met the greats.
Yep.
And he's pulling it all together. How can one person remember all them lines? And then how he would just take Jay-Z's lines and the one in front of the gun lives forever. Because, Jigga said, I'd rather be the shooter.
Mm-hmm.
And so Kendrick just came with a counter culture.
Yep.
They not like us.
They not
All the
like
way down
us.
to the bell bottoms, man. Now I'm 60, man. I'm trying to wear these bell bottoms. I'm telling you, if I fall, this gonna be the last time I wear them damn bell bottoms.
Hey, listen, don't do it. Protect yourself, brother Glover. Protect yourself, man. But I wanted to, before we wrap, I wanted to make sure you knew, your people knew, we are hosting Black Future Fest this Sunday, actually. This Sunday, Black Future Fest, Riverside, California. The whole idea is exactly what you're talking about. How can we undo some of the damage, some of the propaganda that's been going on for the past 400 years and start to really build a successful, prosperous, and African-centered future? So we'll be at La Sierra University. They have their first Black president, and we are going to be celebrating the Black future. We're going to be playing Black Wall Street, the board game. We'll have it set up for everybody. There'll be an NBA-style combine for our middle school and high school students. There will be hip-hop pedagogy experts speaking, African-centered pedagogy experts speaking, real estate investing, how to start your own business and entrepreneurship. It's going to be a fun day. So make sure y'all pull up, go to Black Future Fest. That's BLKfuturefest.com. Grab your tickets and pull up to La Sierra on June 29th.
BLK Superfest.
Future. BLK Future Fest.
.com.
Boom.
Why do you do what you do? Why are you doing these games and Black history and Black Wall Street? Why are you doing this?
Because if I don't live, I want there to be some type of institution, some type of structure, some type of influence that still has my spirit, that can influence my kids or the next generation. Right? And that's going to be a real focus for the next probably 10, 15 years for myself, is how do I, if I'm not able to continue on this planet, what can I produce? Like your books, right? That's your consciousness. That's your essence. That is what you want to influence the next generation with. And you wrote those books so that 100 years from now, someone can pick up the I Am Black Wall Street by Doni Glover and get that wisdom. And that's exactly why I create the games that I do, the events that I do, the books that I write, because I want to continue to have that influence, even if I'm not here on this planet, to make sure that we're living the way that we should be living. Right.
I got some more tidbits for you, man.
Oh yeah, well it's gotta be like I gotta go hit the gym, brother Glover. This is gonna be the last one.
Good. Last tidbit I'm gonna give you is Black Caesar.
Black Caesar.
Black Caesar. Did you know there were black pirates?
Yes. I don't know the history behind black pirates, but I'm confident.
Yeah, you do. A slave ship was coming down. Somebody went to try to rob it. They got into a scuffle. The people trying to rob the slave ship say, well, hell, if we let the black people go, they help us. His name was Black Caesar, and he was a pirate, and he was down there in Biscayne Bay. And he was potentially the first black millionaire in America. They hung him in Virginia. They, of course, $7 million worth of silver on him. And now you know the rest of the story. We appreciate you, man. How can people get in touch with you? You want them to go to that website?
Yeah, let's go ahead and push that. blackfuturefest.com. Go ahead and head there so that you can get tapped in with that movement. You can also go to playblackwallstreet.com. Follow us on Instagram, but everything is right there on playblackwallstreet.com. All the links, all the connections. Sign up for our email list if you want to continue to learn about the games that we have coming out. And I told y'all, Allensworth, California, we're going to be doing something in recognition of Allensworth very, very soon. So if you want to definitely stay tapped in with that, make sure you go to Play Black Wall Street and get connected with us.
Thank you for taking time out to be with us today. Always a pleasure, big brother. Peace to your family.
Peace.
Top of the morning to you.
Hey, man. Happy birthday.
Yes, sir. Thank you, big brother. Good morning, world.